Welcome to the End Times Guide podcast. It is an honor and a pleasure to have you joining me, and today is going to be the most important podcast I've done so far. Something that we really have to sit down and start to look at, because frankly, the end times aren't something that's going to happen in our future. It's actually taking place right now. And things have been going on all around us, getting by without hardly any attention at all. And I'm really horrified at what has been put in place so far without my knowledge. Someone who is doing a podcast on the end times to be completely unaware of something that's been going on since 2016. Almost 4 years now. ID 2020 has been a public activity. Prior to that, I'm sure it was in the works for a good number of years. ID 2020, I'm going to say it is the mark of the beast. It really, truly is. And it is so frighteningly close. Where did it come from? It came out of nowhere and blindsided me. I'm going to share with you all the knowledge that I have in regards to ID 2020. I'm going to keep researching and digging, and I'll keep you up to date. But before I start into what exactly it is, I've done a tract that says ID 2020, are you ready? And basically outline what it is on one side and give people the resources they need to be saved, to hear the truth, to avoid losing their eternal soul. And I'm going to be handing those out as of today, and I'm going to disseminate as many as I possibly can. I'm going to be very vocal about ID 2020. I want everyone to have the right to know what is happening right under our noses. And I hope that you will be burdened similarly. People really need to know that ID 2020 is being pushed right under their noses right now. And this is the mark of the beast. There is no question whatsoever about it. Welcome to the mark of the beast. It's here. It's happening now. Right now in India, 1.2 billion people are receiving the mark of the beast. In China, it's being mandated by, I'm not sure exactly when it's rolling out now in China. Add another 2 billion. You almost have half the planet receiving the mark of the beast in a very, very short period of time. And parts of Africa, parts of Europe, it's already rolling out. The UK has its. It's happening in the United States right now. So if you're new to ID 2020, you may be surprised to find out that it's happening all around us. Now, I discovered last Friday that Canada was laying out a framework for a digital identity. And it would roll out this digital identity in the next couple of years in Canada. And that had me looking around to see what else was going on. I'd never heard the term digital identity before. And it looks like not only is digital identity a reality, it's going to be mandatory. In Washington State, if you want to get on an airplane in 2020, you better have a digital identity. You're not going to have access to federal buildings or air travel without a digital identity in 10 months. In just 10 months in Washington State. And I'd never even heard of digital identity until last week. Now, from what I've researched, ID 2020 is a large initiative. It's a global initiative. Two of the major players are Microsoft and the United Nations. So This is very big. It impacts us. Under the United Nations umbrella, we have the World Health Organization and UNICEF. And they are concocting a mandatory vaccination that will carry the digital ID conveniently at the same time. So those who receive this vaccination will at the same time receive their digital identity. And it's being rolled out as it's all about us. These benevolent, charitable souls are doing this for our benefit. ID 2020 is for your good, because this is one of the things they state. We have a right to digital identity. This is coming from the United Nations. Every human has a right to a digital identity. And it's through the compassion of their hearts. I say that with tongue in cheek. You have the right to a digital identity. And then they talk about all of the situations where a digital identity would be so helpful to us. You're in a war zone. You've fled your home and you've left all your possessions. You're running for your life. You have no means of proving your identity, and therefore you have no access to government aid and government programs. And you'll hear this kind of language coming up over and over again in regards to ID 2020. This is going to be needed to access government programs. In Austin, Texas, the homeless who want to access food stamps and government programs, government handouts, will have to receive a digital identity implant. It's happening right now. Right now. The mark of the beast is rolling out right now. And it's time for us to face reality. It's time to open our eyes, splash our faces with cold water, and realize that the time to choose has come. The time is upon us. By 2030, this initiative called ID 2020, it will have everyone on the planet receive a digital identity. And I guarantee you by 2030, it will be an implant. Right now, many places are offering a smart card. It has your implant inside the card. And this is a gray area. I have to admit that, to be fair. It is a gray area. Some will view the card as okay. It's all right to have an ID card with the mark inside of it, as long as that mark isn't implanted under your skin. But at the same time, I have to say, it is the mark of the beast. It's the RFID chip containing all of your information, your driver's license, your health care, your banking cards, everything in one card. And it has the RFID chip in it. So it's not technically in your hand. But as I stated last Friday in the podcast called Digital Identity, what they do when they create your digital identity, or what they're calling your real identity, they're creating a digital version of you. So this is Satan's version of being born again. Through Christ, we're born into the spirit world. You can't see it, but it's real. I've been born again. I testify. I will go to the guillotine testifying that it's real. The conversion experience is real. The power of God is real. The changed life is real. Everything is real. I testify, and I'm willing to die with that testimony in my mouth. Satan has his version of being born again. Born into the digital world. This is his spirit world, a technocracy, if you will. And those who receive a real ID, a digital ID, are born into his spirit world. And you will have a digital identity card, a smart card, that will contain all of your identity and your banking information. And this is a cooperative effort between banks, government entities, and technological giants. Everyone is working together for your good. They're all coming together, pooling their intellect and their efforts to give you your digital identity. And in Canada, they're very serious. The banks are already fully involved in this. So your driver's license, your healthcare card, your social insurance number, your MasterCard, your Interac card, all your various licenses. I have to carry a firearms license, boat license. You can't operate a boat without a license. All of these things will be woven together into a smart card. And if I take that digital identity, that card will have not only all of that, but this is where it gets woven together. It will be filled with biometrics as well. My fingerprints, my retinal scan, my facial recognition profile, and potentially DNA as well, so they know my blood type and DNA and all that. Basically, this digital you is fully every bit of information concerning you, pertaining to you, all woven into one card. So again, I say I'm looking at this and saying, yep, it is fully the mark of the beast. It's just geographically separated from you. It's not implanted in you, but there it is. It's the mark of the beast. So I'm looking at it, folks, and I'm saying I can't receive the smart card. I can't allow them to force a digital identity on me. I don't want to be born into this digital world, which I'm looking at and I'm saying that's the beast system. That is the final beast, the final kingdom, unlike all the other kingdoms that came before it. This is a digital kingdom, ruled by digital power. Anyone in the digital kingdom that doesn't fully cooperate will be shut out. And they will be afraid of being shut out from their home, their car, their work, their bank, their loved ones, their phone, their computer, everything. You won't have access to healthcare, to the grocery store, to nothing. And under that fear and oppression, under that control, people will do what they are told. They will bow and worship the beast. And that is going to happen. We know that from the Bible. Everyone, both small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, is forced to receive a mark on their right hand or forehead. And with it, without it, they cannot buy or sell. But that's the tip of the iceberg. As Billy Crone on the Final Countdown said, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Buying and selling is only a small part of everything that being a member of the beast system entails. You won't be able to have access to healthcare, to work, to purchasing, to driving your car, to logging into your computer, to paying your bills. You will be shut out. So when the beast himself is introduced, the Antichrist, it says that we will be forced to worship the image of the beast. And the image of the beast is going to be a holographic representation of the beast system that will appear. Right now, advertising is changing around the world to holographic projection. It's far more effective, it's interactive, it's smart. So one holographic projector can do a number of different ads in very eye-catching, interactive, and interesting ways, meeting your own personal needs, because it will read your smart card or your implant and cater the advertising to you specifically based on your interests, your likes, your spending habits. But once all these projectors are in place, the image of the beast can appear anywhere one of these projectors is. And I don't think it'll be restricted to storefronts. I think it'll be on your cell phone. I think it'll be on your laptop, your workstation. Everywhere you go, you'll see these projectors on smart lampposts as they're breaking out all over the world right now. They interact with you. They're aware of who you are. Welcome to the Beast Kingdom. It's being built under our feet right now. And in due time, the dragon, who is Satan, gives his authority to the beast system. And then the beast system, which is being built under your feet, will generate the image of the beast from any one of these projectors, and you will be commanded to worship it. Whatever that means. It could be some form of, some sign of public submission. Maybe a hand to the heart. Maybe a Heil Hitler. Who knows what it'll look like. But you will be expected to give the proper gesture. I was looking at a drone online, and a real cool little toy. God has blessed me with a really nice drone. It's just complicated. It takes time to set up, and I was eyeballing a smaller portable version, and I had to, I'm human like everyone else. I had to say, Lord, forgive me. I don't need more stuff. I don't know why I'm doing this. You blessed me with a wonderful drone. I should be very happy and content, and I shouldn't be coveting. But this drone could recognize your hand gestures. If you wanted to take a selfie, if you wanted it to enter follow me mode, or whatever, it reads your hand gestures. That technology is there. So the image of the beast, when it's projected in front of you, you will be expected to show some sign of allegiance or acquiescence or submission or whatever it's supposed to look like. It will be your form of worship. And those who do not worship the image of the beast are put to death. Now, there is technology already available for the mark of the beast, the implant, that can kill you. It has arsenic in it, and it releases that arsenic into your blood, and you're dead. That's all there is to it. Push up a button, kill anyone, anywhere, anytime. If you maybe don't want to send an AI drone after that person, by whatever means, they can put anyone to death they choose. So even if you don't have the implant and you happen to be wandering through town, they will track you down and they will exterminate you. That goes without saying. But ID 2020 in Washington State, if you don't have it within 10 months from today, they have a nice little countdown clock on their website. 10 months and 14 days from now, anyone who doesn't have a real ID will not be able to fly or access government buildings. And that's the beginning, folks. It only grows from there. It's growing under our feet right now. This is the Beast Kingdom gathering together. The tentacles are reaching out and drawing the world into itself. And I won't take real ID or digital identity. I won't allow it. I won't concede to it. You know what that means, don't you? Well, I won't have a job in the near future. I won't be able to buy or sell. I won't be able to work. And so what? So what? Within a short number of years, we won't have those things anyways. All we will have to look forward to is the wrath of God. Because read Revelation, we know that there is no peace on earth. He brings the earth together. Just, World War II, there are a lot of parallels to what's going to happen in the end times. I don't know. God does tell us a story through events like the journey, the exodus of Israel out of Egypt tells the story of our salvation. I'm looking at World War II and thinking it tells a story as well. The way Hitler brought things together and organized things and made the people feel like everything was just super tight and super in control and prospering and everything was wonderful. And then all hell broke loose and Germany was destroyed in the process. And they say Hitler worshipped Wotan, the German god of creation and destruction. And we see the first half of Hitler's reign was creation. Unifying Germany, making it mighty, taking the shame off of it. And in the second half, he not only is struggling with the United Kingdom, but he opens up the front with the Russians, a very bizarre move that divided his forces, and they weren't prepared to fight in a Russian winter, and it really turned the tide of the war. And it was his own doing. So we see, the whatever demon was influencing Hitler led him to the point of madness where, the first half was great, but the second half not so much. But in the end times, you're going to see a world that seems to make sense and seems to be coming together and growing into something great. But that's only for 3.5 years, and then all hell breaks loose. So, don't be deceived. This world isn't forever. We already knew that. And we knew there was a jumping off point, and that point is upon us. And by the grace of God, we have time to get ready. I'm not sure how much time. Maybe months. Maybe only months left to prepare. But we have to wake up and smell the roses. The Digital Identity Initiative is creating the mark of the beast. They're moving full steam ahead. It's going to involve, this is who I believe the 10 kings mentioned in Revelation are. Remember, there are 10 horns on the beast, and 3 of them are supplanted by one unusual horn, or an unusual king, who has eyes and a mouth. This is eyes that see. He discerns spiritual things. And a mouth that makes great proclamations, who declares himself to be God, who persecutes the Christians, the saints, who blasphemes the name of God. This one will replace 3 of the kings. But the 10 kings are only temporary, and they give their power to the dragon. They give their power to the beast system. And I believe you have King Jeff Bezos of Amazon. You have King Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook. You have King, what's his name? Tesla and SpaceX, Elon Musk. King Bill Gates of Microsoft. And there are 10 kings who are enormously dominant in the world. There are only 4 companies that rule the food chain, and only a handful of companies that rule media. And of those, I'm sure a couple of them you will find are the kings, who all together give their authority to the beast. And that's what is happening right now. They're all coming together to form the kingdom, the beast kingdom, a technocracy ruled by the elite. And if you want to be a part of the beast kingdom, you need to get involved in ID 2020. You need to be ready to get your real ID so that they can recognize you as a real citizen. And as they're everywhere I go, I hear the same propaganda. There are 1.1 billion people without real ID on the planet. They have no access to government services and no means of proving their identity. It is a humanitarian right that these people have real ID. And gosh darn it, we love the world so much, we're going to make sure they get real ID. And China and India are rolling it out. European countries are rolling it out. It's all happening really, really fast right now. So we need to take a long, sober look at our lives and picture how we would live if we didn't have a job, we didn't have access to the internet or a cell phone or healthcare, and what steps we need to take right now. We have no time to twiddle our thumbs. We are going to have to learn to live in community, supporting one another to the best of our abilities, and it will be temporary because the time will come where we're rounded up and put in camps, re-education camps, detention centers, whatever you want to call it. And there we will be forcefully compelled to have real ID. And if we have the courage to resist, they're going to have the courage to take our lives. So that's what it's come down to, and that's what it's come down to right under our noses, right before our very eyes. And it's very hard for us in this pampered Western culture to acknowledge that we could be forced to do anything. And yet here it is right in front of our faces. ID 2020 is a reality. And they've mandated at the United Nations that they will have everyone on the planet with proper identification by 2030. And if you think about all that involves, formulating the BEAST system and enforcing, mandating its identification system and implementing it in every society across the globe, having the computer resources to manage it all, there's a lot of work to do, and they say they can be done by 2030. And I have no doubt we'll see it a lot sooner than that. I think 2030 is a number they've put out there for us to feel like we have time. I think you'll see by 2022 that we've run out of options. We've run out of wiggle room. It's either take the card or walk away. So, by the grace of God, we have a short window of opportunity to prepare to be shut out of the system, unless we like the idea of a beast kingdom, unless we like the idea of being born into the beast kingdom by receiving digital identity, allowing them access to everything to us, all of our information and our biometrics. This is serious. It's as serious as a heart attack, and we're gambling our souls. Some people, I guarantee you, many churches will accept the digital ID card because by the letter of the law, it's not receiving a mark under your skin, therefore it doesn't count. But we have to be shrewd as serpents and gentle as doves. What is the meaning of the card? It is the mark, as far as I'm concerned, it's the mark of the beast, one step removed. Call it baby mark. It's the baby mark. And the next logical step is they have to implant it. Because you can't be expected to not lose the card. And if you lose the card, you lose everything. I'm talking everything. People will voluntarily ask to have it implanted. They'll be doing things like wearing it everywhere they go anyways. And it will seem so much better to just get it implanted. It's already happening all over the world anyways. I mean, the last people who are holding out, who are okay with a card but not with an implant, will be wearing the thing everywhere anyways. So they'll probably have some kind of glove with it so that the card is held on the back of their hand. It's pure hypocrisy to think that that's not the mark of the beast. So I can only speak for myself, and I'm not saying 100% that the card is the mark of the beast, but I'm looking at it and saying, what's the difference, really? If it's a digital identity contained in an RFID that you carry around, isn't that the mark of the beast? And why is God saying that anyone who receives the mark cannot be saved? Is it because God hates things under our skin? Then anyone with a pacemaker would have been shut down. But it is the fact that a digital version of you is born inside the beast kingdom. It's Satan's version of being born again. And I won't personally allow that to happen to me. That's where I draw the line. And whatever that means, if I'm about to live in a tent on the edge of town, then I'll go and look for a nice tent right now. I'm prepared to do that. I'm prepared to go homeless. This is our time to learn to live by faith. God will supply all of our needs according to his riches and glory, and you and I will have the privilege of learning to live by faith. Faith in God instead of faith in the system. So I know this is going to sound like pure conspiracy in the ears of some, and I can't help that. It is what it is. But ID 2020 is here, folks, and your time to figure this out is now. And that's why I'm going to keep bringing it up with new information. Keep this on point, because we're wasting time. Every single day we have time to prepare. And every day we don't prepare, we're wasting time. We need to have communities where we can go to, safe places where we can live together, support one another. We need to learn how to grow our own food. We won't have access to the world food system. And it is a global food system, and it's all controlled by the powers that be. And we're going to be denied access to that. And I'm not even sure that charitable people will be allowed to give us food, because that food will be marked. And it may be a criminal act to give any kind of food to people who are not in the system. So we may be forced to live off the land. I'm fortunate in Western Canada. There's a lot of food all around me in the forests. If you know what to look for, there's tons of good food. But some people aren't so fortunate. They live in desert areas where here drinking water is also abundant. But a place where drinking water is scarce and food is scarce, like California, gonna have to get out of there. Gonna have to plan to get out of places like California. So that's it for this podcast. I wanted as many as possible to be aware that the mark of the beast is being worked out. They're well along with it. They're all doing very well at what they're doing. We need to do very well at what we're doing, and that's preparing not only ourselves, but waking up other people too and letting them know the mark of the beast is here.